Hi, welcome to This Week in Ames. I'm Susan Guiazda. On today's show, we'll check in with the Water and Pollution Control Department. My guest today is John Dunn, Director with Water and Pollution Control. John, welcome to the show.
Hi, Susan. Thank you.
It's been a while since we've had you as a guest, and of course a lot of things are happening in your department. One of the biggest ones is probably one that people have seen on East 13th Street.
Yeah, that new facility, as you drive by that this summer, it seems like every time you drive by it looks different. Right now they're working really hard trying to get the last of the precast walls up, trying to get the windows in place, get that whole building buttoned up before the cold weather really sets in here on us.
And that new water treatment facility will replace a facility that is 80 years, even older?
Yeah, it's replacing a facility that at its heart was constructed in 1924. And over the years, about every 15 or 20 years, we've glued some sort of a new addition onto it around the edges, but at its heart, it's really a 1924 vintage facility.
And that facility has been producing great tasting Ames water for a long time, but it's really reached capacity.
It has reached capacity. When we did some projections looking forward over the next 20 years, it was clear that that facility didn't have enough capacity for the growth that we're seeing in Ames. And then even beyond the capacity, it was really the condition of the facility. The structural concrete just was in tough shape. And the areas that needed the most attention were the oldest parts, and those were the pieces that were embedded in the middle of this expansion that had happened over the years. And so that's really what led us to the decision to construct a new facility.
I think some people are surprised they don't even realize the water plant's kind of tucked in there on the utilities campus near Banshell Park.
Yeah, we sit right next to the power plant, so that's an excuse me, an easy landmark for people to navigate towards when they're trying to find it. But we do kind of sit back in there. We're kind of a quiet, unobtrusive neighbor for the neighborhood, and we're going to kind of miss that, I think, a little bit moving out onto East 13th Street. But the opportunity to have a facility that from scratch was designed for the level of reliability and dependability that's expected from modern water treatment systems will be a really nice thing to have.
So the new plant, because of where it's being built on East 13th Street, will be able to utilize some of the existing infrastructure, correct?
We will. We had a big project that ran over last winter and through the spring of this year to lay 6 separate pipelines that are going to interconnect the old treatment facility with the new one. And that's going to allow us to reuse probably $15 to $20 million worth of infrastructure at the old site that does still have useful life in it and was worth the investment to save.
That's pretty exciting. Also, the new plant is being built to LEED standards?
It is being built to LEED standards. There's a couple of benefits to that. There's of course all of the conservation benefits that come with that, the reduced carbon emissions, the reduced energy demand. That translates fiscally into keeping the operating cost of the facility low. But another benefit is the fact that we are getting a grant from the Iowa Department of Natural Resources to the tune of about $6.6 million in loan forgiveness for construction of the facility when we reach that LEED certification level.
And like you said, it is really interesting to watch that facility grow, and it's starting to really look like getting a complete structure where the walls are up, and you can see at some point they'll start moving on to the insides.
Yeah, the hope is that, well, actually right now even they've started some of the framing work inside, getting themselves ready. The schedule that the contractors laid out for themselves has this facility so that it's operational by the middle of May. And with as fast as it seems like it's gone this summer, it's going to seem like it's going really fast these next 6 months. As they start everything from the office finishing, but starting to really put the meats of the equipment in, the pumps and the controllers, and starting to lay out all of the components that are necessary to make this treatment facility work.
And I know you continue to reassure people that the taste, the recipe for the water will not change.
Yeah, the water should taste exactly the same. We're continuing to use the exact same wells, so the source of water is going to remain completely unchanged. And while we're updating to modern technology, the treatment method that we're using, the lime softening process, is very similar to what we've done. And the water should taste the same. The whole goal of this is that on the day we make the switch, nobody can tell the difference.
Okay, so a seamless transition. You know, another topic, we're going to switch gears from here for a minute. As we get into the holidays, I know a lot of people do some traveling. One of the problems that we often see at this time of year when the temperatures drop is problems with frozen pipes.
Yeah, a lot of folks, rightly so, they want to set their thermostat back when they leave for a week. Maybe they're going to go visit family for Thanksgiving. And that's a good thing as long as you don't turn it too far. We would encourage folks to try to keep the temperature in the areas around the plumbing at least at around 50 to 55 degrees. So don't turn the heat completely off in the building. If you are turning it low, it would be a good idea, like in a basement, if you have plumbing that's like, say, inside a cabinet on an exterior wall, open the doors on those cabinets. Just let some of that warmer air into those cabinets to keep it warm. And as a last result, or resort, you could always leave the faucet running just a little trickle and keep that 55-degree water coming in through the plumbing.
Maybe have somebody check on your plumbing every now and then too.
Oh, that would be a really wise thing. It seems like every year in the winter we have 3 or 4 homes that have had pipes that have frozen and burst, and it's just unbelievable the havoc that causes in a home.
Yeah, that's not something you want to come home to.
Yeah.
Well, John, I wanted to finish up with one last thing. You got a bit of good news recently, some recognition, a very prestigious statewide award.
Yeah, it was really pretty humbling to be presented an award. It was the George Warren Fuller Award that was presented by the Iowa section of the American Water Works Association. And it's an award that both of my predecessors as directors for the City of Ames Water and Pollution Control have received. Harris Seidel received it in 1960, and Tom Newman received it in 2001. So it's kind of humbling to be following
continuing that legacy
in the footsteps of giants.
Oh, I had no idea. That's congratulations to you. That's
thank you.
I think it speaks volumes about your department and your ability to lead.
And it says a lot about the City Council and the City Manager's Office for decades, the level of support and really understanding the value of having employees who are engaged with their industry outside the city government setting.
Yeah. Well, thanks, John. I know you're busy. Thank you for taking some time and stopping in to talk to us.
You're welcome.
Again, if you'd like more information about the City of Ames in general, including news, updates, and calendar items, make sure to check out our website at cityofames.org. One event that's coming up that you should check out is the Scoop of Soup, a hunger and homelessness awareness event on Tuesday, November 15th, over the lunch hour in front of City Hall. Well, that's our show for today. Thanks for watching, and tune in next week for This Week in Ames.